Boy, am I excited. Hola! I can't believe I found out about this only now, but Shokuryou Jinrui has a sequel. So I'm really excited to talk to you about this today. The sequel is called Shokuryou Jinrui Revelation, and it's by the same authors who did the prequel. And this started serializing back in April of 2021. So this time I'm kind of late. As you might know, I previously did a video on the prequel, so check that out if you want. But in case you've never heard of Shokuryou Jinrui, then beware, there's gonna be spoilers for the prequel. If you don't care about the prequel, that's okay. You can follow the plot without having read it. So what is the sequel about? So the story starts with our protagonist, a boy called Hiro, in the counselor's office. Or you know, where they talk about like the future and stuff. I don't know how they call it in English. Anyways, he tells her that since the day before, he feels kind of weird. To be more precise, he gets extremely scared of death and dying. The counselor's reaction to this is more than strange. She looks at him as if the portals of hell just open up in front of her, or if he just insulted her mother. So Hiro in turn finds that weird and tries to make light of the situation and tells her, oh, don't worry, it's not that bad, and so on. After he leaves again, the counselor calls somebody on the phone and tells this anonymous person on the other line that there's a person that she's worried about, and that person is of course Hiro. We then meet his friend and crush Yuzu. She asks him what he did earlier, but he doesn't want to talk to her about his concerns and his feelings about death. Otherwise, he could be ostracized like his schoolmate Hoaki. Then there's an announcement from the school to let the students know that somebody from their school has been chosen to be sent off. So obviously this is extremely confusing to the reader, but you'll find out what it means when you read it. In any case, the chosen one is Yuzu. The class goes berserk and cheers. Everyone is super excited and happy except for Hiro, who doesn't want Yuzu to die. Alright. The class then talks about the food chain and how they as humans are beneath who they call amahito. If you read the sequel, you might already try and have a guess at who these amahito might be. And by the way, the kanji for amahito are those for heaven and for person, so that kind of gives you an idea of what might be going on. So now it becomes clearer that people are offering themselves to amahito, and they see this as a great honor since it is thanks to them that they can live like this. And you will find this out a little later on in the manga, but I want to talk about it a little bit anyways. So the whole society basically revolves around these amahito and how you can become a healthy meat for them. And there are like groups, for example, oh, if you're between the ages of blah 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 and blah blah blah, then it's especially good and tasty. So everybody's trying to live healthy and, you know, become good meat. And also everybody is bearing children like crazy, you know, so there are enough people to eat. And if, for example, you can't bear children or, you know, can't impregnate people, then you're trash and, you know, society doesn't need you anymore. But yeah, that's all I'm saying for now. Believe me, it's gonna be crazy, so just read it. But back to the story for now. A classmate proposes that everybody cut off a part of their body to give Yuzu to eat, who in turn will be eaten by amahito. Everyone thinks this is a splendid idea except for Hiro, who barfs into the bucket where they collect the body parts. Hiro can't believe that this sort of crap can go on and everybody is just fine with children cutting their bodies and teachers supporting them. And now I told you what happens, but it's really confusing as a reader because you have no idea what's going on. All we know is that this world has some extremely fucked up beliefs and Hiro seems to be the only one who notices. He isn't the only one, however. And two more guys appear on the scene. One of them the aforementioned Hoaki. The other one is his companion Matsune. I would love to tell you more about the plot, but everything else is a spoiler. essentially. Just know that the story is probably even more fucked up than the prequel. From here on, there will be spoilers about the prequel, so please stop watching if you don't want to hear them. What this story does really well is that it just throws you into it without any explanation for anything. So much crazy shit happens in the story, and you as a reader are just confused. You can make sense of any of it. On one hand, you get closer to the mystery each chapter, but then even weirder stuff happens and you're just like, everyone seems so brainwashed. Things that would usually be considered an atrocity are celebrated. I can't even tell you how terrifying the atmosphere felt to me when I first read it. Like, I don't want to oversell it, but everything just works really well. In the prequel, things got really weird in the end, in the sense that it felt like they pulled it out of their asses. But this time it feels much more thought out, at least for now. The idea that the creatures came back, and instead of taking the planet by force, they brainwashed people into worshipping them. Like, isn't that even more horrifying? Because now you have to fight against the whole of humanity. You can't stand united with your fellow man against the enemy. You have to convince them to join your cause, knowing that resisting the Amahito will result in sure death. What I also think is really interesting about the series in general is the whole food chain concept. As humans, we sometimes liken us to almost godlike beings, in the sense that everything, nature and animals, is beneath us. We're stronger and wiser and blah blah blah, so we think we can do whatever we want. But now imagine there's something or someone with much more power than we could ever have, and they force us on our knees. It's just really scary, and personally, I found a new respect for animals and nature and the planet in general. And it doesn't have to be aliens or something, like even AI could reach this point, you know? So it kind of makes me think that we should be careful how we treat everything around us, because we certainly would not like to be treated the way we treat the world around us. I don't know if the intention behind this manga was to create this idea of some sort of reckoning, but some lines in it suggest that it could be the case. Sometimes a character would say that it's just natural to be part of a food chain, but who said that we're on top of it, you know? At other times, it feels like the Amahito are just a plain old threat in a typical monster horror story that you just have to get rid of. So for now, I think that the story is much better than the prequel. It really surprised me. I'm still not sure how it works considering the ending of the prequel, but I'm fine ignoring that for now. Hopefully they will manage to create a decent ending this time. As for the art, it's still good, of course. Still no nipples though. I couldn't spot any weird ass hairlines, so that's good too. As always, it's pretty graphic and disgusting, so the gore is still top tier, I think. But I believe it's really necessary to show everything so explicitly, because then you can get a feeling of what it must be like to see this stuff on a daily, and how insane and brainwashed people must have gotten to tolerate it. So yeah, sorry for the few spoilers, but I think it's really hard to sell the story without getting into the matter at least a little bit. So yeah, I can't wait to find out what's gonna happen next. I'm really excited about this. I hope there's an English translation somewhere. I didn't check for it. But if there is, then please read it. And if you do, then tell me what you think about it. But yeah, that is it for this week. And I think this manga was perfect for Halloween, so if you don't have any plans to party, then just read this instead and you'll have a blast. So yeah, thanks for watching till the end. Hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.